Hello, and welcome to Avian Tranquility. I'm Sam Nang Bradley, your narrative guide for this quiet riverbank moment. Picture a rust-colored bird tucked into a curtain of willowy leaves, barely a ripple on the water beside it. You might not expect much from that stillness until the air carries a faint green scent, like a walk through a leafy pantry. This is the Hoatzin, a creature that moves as if time slowed down to study a single page. In that moment, we see nature's quiet wisdom.
Let's name our companion, the Hoatzin, sometimes called the stink bird, for reasons we'll explore gently. It lives in the Amazon's floodplain forests and river edges, places where water and trees trade places with the seasons. Imagine tangled roots, slow currents, and branches dipping low enough for a bird to pick leaves without leaving the canopy. The Hoatzin moves through this watery world with a slow, deliberate rhythm that matches the tides and the shadows. Life begins in a nest of sticks, woven where branches meet the humid air. Hoatzins often build together in small colonies, their nests clustered over water. A typical clutch might be 3 or 4 pale eggs, warmed and turned by careful parents. When a chick hatches, it looks almost like a tiny, downy architect, fluffy and vulnerable, eyes wide to a world of leaf and light. Those earliest days feel very old and very tender, as if you are witnessing a scene from deep natural history. Growing up here is not always easy. There are rivers that rise fast, predators that learn the rhythms of the colony, and days when the leaves are scarce. Yet the Hoatzin's approach is one of steady resilience rather than frantic escape. If a nest is threatened, chicks sometimes drop into the water and climb back up through reeds and branches using a surprising gift, tiny claws on their wings that help them scramble. It feels almost like watching an ancient survival trick unfold, quick and purposeful, not dramatic but profoundly resourceful. Now to what makes the Hoatzin so remarkable, its food and its body. Unlike most birds, the Hoatzin is a dedicated leaf eater. It chews and swallows greens, then ferments them in a specialized part of the gut, foregut fermentation, much like a cow. This slow, careful digestion means the bird spends long, peaceful hours basking and resting between meals. The plumage carries warm russet tones, a crest that moves like a loose brushstroke, and a gentle, earthy aroma that comes from its digestion. Describe that scent as you would the smell of a wet forest after rain. Natural, ecological, part of how the Hoatzin is woven into its home. Courtship and family life here are understated. Hoatzins often form loose pair bonds within the colony. Parenting is communal at times, with adults sharing duties and nest defense. There are no extravagant dances, no boisterous songs, rather a steady, reliable choreography of feeding, preening, and returning to the nest. It's a quiet kind of affection, shared work, shared space, and a rhythm that matches the floodplain's slow pulse. In the company of others, Hoatzins are social without being crowded. They move in groups along waterways, sampling leaves and dropping into the shadows when threats appear. Ecologically, they help shape vegetation patterns by browsing, and their presence signals a healthy, intricate wetland system. They don't dominate their environment, they participate in it, like a quiet neighbor who tends a shared garden. That role, small, steady, and essential, reminds us how many lives hold a place in a larger story. If we step back a moment, what does the Hoatzin teach? First, that evolutionary paths take surprising turns. Foregut fermentation in a bird invites us to slow our assumptions. Second, that landscapes like floodplain forests are living libraries of adaptations, each species a page. Conservation here feels practical and hopeful. Protecting river corridors, supporting local stewardship, and valuing traditional knowledge all help keep these quiet communities intact. There is no alarmist rhetoric. There is gentle invitation to pay attention, to support protected habitats, and to listen. Before we close, one small, delightful fact.
Hoatzin's chicks' wing claws fall away as they mature, leaving adult wings smooth and strong for flight. For a while, those claws are a living reminder of earlier stages of bird history, practical, unshowy, and perfectly suited to their watery, leafy lives. It's a tiny evolutionary footnote that feels almost like a secret passed down the branches. And so, for now, we leave the Hoatzin in its river corridor, browsing, resting, and carrying on in a way that asks little of us and gives us a great deal to consider. If this story brought you a moment of calm or a fresh curiosity, please subscribe to Avian Tranquility and share this episode with someone who enjoys slow discoveries. Thank you for listening, and until next time, may you find a small pocket of stillness and keep listening to the soft lessons the natural world offers.